What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel, and we're on it. I'm already laughing just because of the topic of this video. We're talking about Dillon Danis, one of the legends of mixed martial arts for all the wrong reasons, I guess you could say. But anyways, this guy, if you don't know who Dillon Danis is, you probably do if you're watching this channel. But Dillon Danis is, of course, considered a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wonderkin. He obviously went to Bellator, had 2 fights, won both his fights to his credit, and is most well known for being one of Conor McGregor's training partners, getting into a brawl with Khabib after the Conor versus Khabib fight back in 2018. And he's a massive trash. He's a troll. He's an online troll. Now, more recently, he fought Logan Paul in that boxing match and went crazy on Logan Paul's now wife, Nina Agdal, and had this crazy viral campaign. Anyways, it was absolutely insane. And I've seen some of the stuff that Dillon Danis posts. He has no boundaries, no limits. It's pretty bad, the depths to which he goes. Now, I do think he is entertaining, and I hate to say it, but I will tune in. I will tune in when he fights and when he's doing a fight build-up, because it is entertaining. But his tactics, I don't think, are for everybody. I think you have to have a certain level of lack of morals, I guess you could say, in order to do the things that Dillon is comfortable doing. So I don't know. I don't know what that says about me, that I do find him entertaining, but that is the truth. I do find him entertaining, and I was excited to watch him fight in Misfits. So anyways, what this is about is it seems like Dillon has now found a path, at least temporarily, in Misfits as their MMA champion, and he's bringing eyes, he's bringing people in. Now, his last fight was against not even a fighter. It was a guy who had a couple boxing matches, but he's not a real fighter. Dillon submitted him in 14 seconds. It was crazy. But it looks like they now are lining up a real opponent for him, and we're finally going to get to see if Dillon Danis can actually hang. He's talked so much smack, says that everybody in the UFC sucks, says he can beat Khamzat Chimaev, which is hilarious and just obviously complete nonsense. But he's got this confidence. He sticks to it. And so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. It's interesting. I want to see him go into the UFC. I'd love to see him fight Kevin Holland. He talks a lot of trash about Kevin Holland. It's very interesting. All right. But he dropped some clues in this interview with Mighty Mouse, and I think I figured out who his next opponent is. It's pretty cool because he said he was not allowed to say, but I'm pretty sure I figured it out. So we're going to talk about it today. It's down to 1 or 2 people, but I'm pretty sure of the 2, which it is. So we're going to go back and we're going to watch 2 parts of this interview. Now, this first part is more just for fun. This is a clip of Dillon. There's a reason why I'm including it, because it ties into the second clip where Mighty Mouse brings up Dillon Danis and the amount of money that he makes or that he claims to make or whatever. And so I just thought it was kind of funny. But we're going to start with this fun clip. So Mighty Mouse, as many other people, Ariel's asked him about this. So many people said, Dillon, how are you surviving? How are you living and functioning as a human being in society? Because you're supposedly a fighter. This was before he was doing the Misfits fights. And you don't fight. You don't do anything. And he's always like, nah, I make so much money doing sponsorships. And Ariel's like, who are your sponsors? What do you, because I think he's making it up. I don't know why he does that. So this whole narrative is continuing here. It's kind of funny. So let's start with this clip. And it's cool because I think Mighty Mouse is digging a little bit. Check this out. Having a little time glitch here. Hold on. It's going to get going in a second. What's going on? Come on, dog. Why is my Wi-Fi going crazy? Oh, let's try this one more time. Boop. Come on. Let me do this. Let me refresh. Come on, Dillon Danis is hacking my feed here. Let's try one more time.
I'm not going to beg for it because right now I'm making so much money. I'm making more money than you probably made in all your title fights. No offense, but I'm making.
Okay, well, let's get into how you making all this goddamn money. How you making money? You have not accomplished from what?
Fighting and gambling. I have a lot of sponsorships.
Okay, gamble. I would say probably gamble, but I don't know. You ain't doing nothing.
Listen. When you fight and you have the name that I have and the eyes I bring, the zone pays very well.
Oh, okay. So what's well? What you getting, 6 figures, 250, 350, or are you talking about you at 850?
I'm not gonna say exact numbers, but I would say higher than that.
Okay, higher than that. Okay, then why you want to fight in UFC if you making good money? Because you go to UFC, they go cut all that money. You ain't gonna be able to.
You know that.
Oh, yeah, I know that. That's why Black Ass got out. But you ain't gonna be able to negotiate, which you can't do when you're in the zone or you're in Misfits. So why you want to go there?
It's more about legacy, and it's more about showing, because I know how good I am, dude. Like, I honestly, like, it fucking, you know, at the end of the day, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna have money, whatever, all this bullshit. But I want to know that I tried. You know, that's the thing, I guess. You know.
Oh gosh, Dillon. He's just such a strange character. I feel like most fighters actually in the UFC and in the game, and even at Fusion Fight League, all the fighters that I meet in Montana, they're all genuine, honest, real, amazing people. You know, Dillon is such a strange one as he stands out, because also martial arts, it's about respect, it's about honor. Obviously, you can have your trash talk, but Dillon is just, it's just so interesting because look, I'm sure he would disagree with me, I guess, because he just holds up that everything he's saying is true. He even calls himself like a truth teller. It's really funny because he's so obviously lying. Like he's not fooling anybody. Ariel tries to call him out about it. Ariel has like the little lie counter when he talks and stuff like that. I'm sure Demetrius Johnson is very suspicious. Like he's terrible liar. Anyways, I just find it really, really funny that he's this type of person, and in the sport, which he stands out. You know, he trash talks to the nth degree, and he's just constantly making stuff up. I don't know why. I mean, I assume massive amounts of insecurity. But anyway, it's kind of funny. All right, now let's get into the relevant clip. Here's the important part. Now we're going to talk about Dillon's next fight. So, of course, there's a little jab in here about that, call back to that money quote. But here, they're talking about Dillon's next opponent, and they drop some clues because they cut out. Dillon actually says who it's, I guess, going to be, or who they're planning for it to be for the Misfits fight. But they cut it out. But I think I figured it out. So we're going to listen to this together, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts. Check this out.
Well, let's talk about that next fight. You say you have a fight coming up. You can talk about it if you want, or you don't have to. But you said it's in mixed martial arts, right? Let's get back to that.
Sorry, yeah. Well, there's not that many guys who want to fight me because they're scared. Like even Till admitted it at the press conference. He said, like, I like my knees. Like I don't want.
It's just again like. You can call that self-belief, I guess. And I think Mighty Mouse says that at the end of the show. Hey, well, I don't know if I call that him being dishonest. He just believes in himself. He's very confident. I mean, but he just slides in all these little comments all the time that you can't really check. He's like, yeah, nobody wants to fight me because they're scared. And is that really actually true? I think he makes another comment about Tony Ferguson seeing his last fight and saying now he doesn't want to fight him because of how good he did or something like that. All this is just not corroborated, and he just throws it out there. I'm sure these guys will be like, what the heck are you talking about? But anyway, I don't know what to make of this human being. I think it's just a pathological habit. You know, he probably lied his entire life. He just can't help it. You know, I guess it's very bizarre. Anyways, I digress. Let's continue.
I want to fucking goddamn go in there and get a leg locked and get healed. So there's Tony now, after watching me fight, doesn't want to fight in MMA, which kind of fucking is so annoying. The Eddie Hall fight is there, which is crazy. He's 465 pounds, but I think it's gonna happen. The guy that we're gonna fight next, I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. It's a good name. For me being 3-0, it's a 3-time UFC world champion. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Now is this under Misfits banner for the 170-pound strap?
Yeah, it would be under Misfits for the belt, and it would be good. Yeah, I just can't say. I don't know if I am allowed to say it. I mean, who the fuck cares?
I like that. That'd be a great fight. MMA, so? That'd be a great fight. Yeah, because he's got kicks. You know, he's got some decent boxing. You know what I mean? Who cares who fucking sells or not? You got all the money in the world, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
So why do you need more money?
Well, okay, I'm 3-0. You're not giving me any credit. The guy that you fought on your fourth fight was what, like 0-20 something. So like me to fight, yeah.
Who me?
Yeah, I tried.
Okay, you notice that little tactic at the end again, just going back to the pathological lying thing. He's so probably used to this. You notice he tried to change the topic. He's like, all right, what do you care? You got all the money in the world. And then he goes, yo, you don't give me credit because I'm 3-0 and the guy you fought is like it's a diversion. You know, it's like politicians do this type of thing and they try and divert the issue so that now you focus on something different. Anyways, he does a terrible job at it, but it was kind of funny that it did work there. But, you know, I think most people didn't notice what he's doing. But anyways, let's go back to the context clues. So Dillon said he's a 3-time UFC champ. So I think what he means by 3-time UFC champ is he defended the belt 3 times or had 3 successful title fights. So it's either won it and then 3 title defenses or won it and then had 2 title defenses. I think it's one of the two. And Dillon normally he's fighting for the 170-pound strap. So I assume he's fighting a 170-pounder. It could be a retired 155er out of the UFC who's moving up. That also could be a possibility. But I looked through the welterweight fighters, ones that are out of the UFC. I think it comes down to 2 fighters, okay? Number one option is Tyron Woodley. So Tyron Woodley obviously won the belt. This counts as a retention. I don't know if you count as a successful defense because it was a majority. It was a draw, but since he was the champ, he retained the belt. Then he had three other title defenses. So maybe it's Tyron Woodley. But the reason why I don't think it's Tyron Woodley is because when Mighty Mouse was describing, he's like, okay, he's got pretty decent boxing. He's got good kicks. I'm like, wouldn't you? Tyron Woodley's got power in his hands. Like, wouldn't you describe that, or wouldn't you describe his wrestling as well? He's a wrestler. That's the foundation of his game. He didn't say that. So who I think it is not Tyron Woodley. I actually think Tyron Woodley would destroy Dillon Danis badly. I think this next fighter might too, but this next fighter is a little bit older. Maybe he'd have a better shot. I think it's Robbie Lawler. So I think it's Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler won the belt, and then he defended it twice. So I think Dillon, when he says 3-time UFC champ, because, he exaggerates everything, I think he means that he had 3 successful title defenses. Welterweight champ. He's older. Okay, so it's going to be an easier fight for Dillon versus somebody who's obviously in their prime. I think that would be bad, just considering all the time off Dillon's had. Striking is not very good. So I think, I don't know. I think this would make sense. So I think he's going to be fighting Robbie Lawler next in Misfits. I think it makes sense. Robbie Lawler's out of the UFC. They had that whole retirement for him. Maybe he's itching for a fight. It's MMA. That's what I think. I think it's going to be interesting. I think if they do it, I'm tuning in. Like I said, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Dillon Danis next. So that's what I think is going down. Dillon Danis versus Robbie Lawler and Misfits. I'm calling it right now. We're going to see when they announce this fight because I think it's happening pretty soon. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with my take? Do you think I'm onto something, or do you think I'm way off? Let me know. And are you guys also interested in seeing Dillon Danis fight, or is it just me? All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.